Hey guys, it's Amy. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If I haven't met you before, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and I'm a fashion model, and today I'm going to teach you all about casting makeup. These are just some tips that I've picked up through my experiences modeling around the world. So whether you're just starting out as a model and are looking for some advice or are just curious about this industry, this video is for you. As usual, please be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little notification bell so that you can be notified when I post my next video. Castings are essentially an audition. Whenever clients are looking for models for a fashion spread or a commercial shoot, they set up these castings for models to go to, for them to meet the models, and then from there they cast however many models that they want that fit into the particular look that they're looking for. For models, you can see how important it is to present yourself to these clients in the best way possible to increase your chances of getting noticed, remembered, and then subsequently casted for that particular job. But doing that is not always super simple, because the way that you present yourself and the way that you do your makeup in particular is not the same across the board for every single client and country. It really depends on what you're casting for and what country and market you're working in. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to show you how I do my casting makeup. Let's start with Europe. The first European country that I worked as a model in was Paris. And one of the very first few castings that I went to, I showed up with my normal casting makeup that I wear all around Asia. And the client looked at me and was like, "Why are you wearing makeup? In Paris, we never go to castings with makeup. Please go take it off." I mean, I was shook. Before this point, every single casting that I'd gone to, I was always told to be in full makeup. And so this was completely new to me. The reason why most, if not all, clients in Europe want models to show up to castings without any makeup is so that they can see models as a blank canvas. They want to be able to see a model's skin condition and know what they're going to be working with. But if you show up with a face full of makeup, it might come across as if you have some flaws that you're trying to hide, and that might put you at a disadvantage. Since then, whenever I'm in Europe, whether that's London, Germany, Paris, wherever, unless the client specifically asks for a particular makeup look or specifically says come with no makeup whatsoever, the casting makeup that I tend to wear is essentially no makeup. Regardless of whether I'm casting for a fashion spread or a commercial or a runway, I just put on a tiny bit of makeup just to make me look a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more awake, but not so much makeup that it looks like I'm actually wearing any makeup. So let's get right to it. So my main goal is to make my skin look as flawless as possible without looking too covered or cakey. For that reason, I'm not even gonna bother with foundation. All I'm going to do on my face is put a little bit of concealer on under my eyes and around my nose, just to even out my complexion. Can't really see. I'm gonna go get a mirror. Okay. It's really just to cover up any dark circles or redness. I tend to get red around here. I don't really know why. And sometimes I might just put on a tiny bit of translucent powder just to mattify my face so I don't look too shiny. Next, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I tend to find that the super strong eyebrow trends that we're seeing all the time these days makes it really easy for us to unknowingly overfill our eyebrows and make them look unnaturally dark. So when you're doing no makeup, it's really important not to overdo them. Use just one coat of my brown eyebrow gel from Glossier. So what this does is just keeps them looking natural and fluffy. You can still see the individual brow hair, so it looks really natural and just looks like nicer eyebrows. A few weeks ago, I posted up a video about these rules that you didn't know models had to follow. And one of the rules that I mentioned is no eyebrow embroidery. And this is a really good example of why that could put you at a disadvantage. Because although you wake up with these perfectly groomed, nice, dark eyebrows that look like you've already filled them in, they don't always look natural, and it's going to be a real dead giveaway if you're asked to go to a casting with no makeup and you show up with a bare face but your eyebrows are super precise and dark. If you're curious to know about what other rules models have to follow, I will put the link to that video in the description box below, so feel free to check that out. Alright, so I'm now at my last step for my no makeup. I swear this is so simple. So the last thing I'm going to do are my eyelashes. I'm just going to give them a curl. And sometimes I'll just stop there. I won't even put on mascara. But if I do put on mascara, I will only put on the tiniest, lightest coat. Just one coat. Only at the top. When I do wear mascara, I don't want them to look like they have mascara on, but at the same time, I also want to darken them a little bit just so that they can open up my eyes and make me look a little bit more awake. And yeah, that's it. No makeup, casting makeup. So now that that's done, let's move on to Asia, which is a little bit different. Like I mentioned before, whenever I've worked in Asia, clients have always asked me to show up to castings with full makeup on, unless they specify no makeup. But that rarely happens, maybe like once or twice in my experience. But it's generally not very advisable to go with like full makeup, like an evening look, because again, you don't want to seem like you have flaws that you need to cover up. In my experience, particularly with catalog or commercial castings, I find that clients in Asia tend to visualize a little bit less. They like having models show up to castings with a everyday makeup look that looks more or less similar to the kind of makeup that they're going to be using on set, which is like a more dolled up everyday makeup look. I think this helps them put the models into frame and give them a better idea of what the commercial will turn out like. That has been pretty much the case whenever I work around Asia, particularly in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. The only exception to that, in my experience, is the market in Bangkok, which is a very well-known commercial center. Like 99% of the jobs I did when I was in Bangkok were for TV commercials. They have so many TV commercials getting shot there. At every single commercial casting that I went to when I was working there, there was a hair and makeup artist to do the exact hair and makeup that you'll be doing on the actual shoot day, and a stylist to dress you in a pre-approved outfit. That would be followed by the actual casting, where you'll do every single scene in that particular commercial so that the client will be able to see exactly what they're gonna be getting. So you can see the casting culture in Bangkok is one of literally zero imagination. So that was a really interesting change from my other experiences in Asia. Even in Asia, whenever I go to castings for fashion magazines or runways, I usually show up with a more European style no makeup look, just because the makeup that you'll be wearing on the actual day tends to be on the more extreme side. So it's better to show up without having too much product on your face. But for commercial castings around Asia, I'm just going to add a little bit more makeup just to accentuate my features a little bit more. On my face, I might put on a bit of foundation if I'm having a bad skin day, but normally I tend to steer away from foundation and I like to just put on concealer, and I'll just cover up any blemishes that I might have. In addition to having concealer under my eyes and around my nose like I showed you before, I'm going to put on a little bit of blush. Clients in Asia love blush. Like, they love having models with rosy cheeks. I don't know why, but that's just what I noticed. I've been to a couple castings without bringing my makeup kit, and they would ask me to put on a little bit more blush because I look a little bit more washed out. Actually, you know what I think it is? I think because in Asia, they like having models with fairer skin. Maybe the lights are brighter or something, so it makes you look more washed out. I don't know. But anyway, blush works really well in Asia. For my brows, I'll do the same thing that I've mentioned before, except I'll add in a little bit of product to fill in the gaps just to make them look a little bit more perfect. Okay, so for my eyes, I have gone to castings with proper eyeliner before, but I realized I tend to do like really long wings. And so what I started doing is to just use black eyeshadow and just line my lid just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to be using a really thin eyeliner brush and some black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to line my eyes as if I'm putting on eyeliner, but it shows up a little bit less intense. For my eyelashes, I'm just going to go in with a few more coats of mascara so that my eyelashes look a little bit more obvious. And finally, of course, lip balm. I don't usually put on any lip color on my lips before castings because I find that just the act of pressing on lip balm brings out a bit of color. But I would bring a lip pencil or some kind of light colored lipstick with me just to touch up if the client thinks I look a little bit too washed out. And voila, that's all. So next week I will probably do up a video about how to dress for castings and what my casting staples are. So please give this video a like if you learned a thing or two, and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when my video next week comes out. I'll see you then.